life, every day, late at night, not okay. All I want, and I pray, all I need are some better days. Fuck me, I'm looking in the mirror, so foggy, but I've never seen clearer. I don't really think anyone can save me, and honestly I'm not really sure I want saving. I like to be my own worst enemy. There's no risk if you don't try at anything, so I'ma just keep buying everything. See you in the next life, have to be a better me. I don't think that my head's on straight, gotta flip it and grip it and go and get an x-ray. What's wrong with me? I just feel weight pushing on my chest and it squeezes till I suffocate. Better change my mindset, meditate. It's pretty cool that I'm alive and have better days. I could walk, see, hear, I should celebrate. Think I could change my mind, maybe elevate. Living life, every day, late at night, not okay. All I want, and I pray, all I need are some better days. Yeah, all I need are some better days. Cause all I want, and I pray, I believe in the better days. I'm kinda stuck between a rock and a hard place. Do I work hard or live at my pace? You're only young once, yeah that's all great, but I also want a future where I'm okay. Living life is doing lots of cocaine. Wait no, it's living with no shame. Wait no, it's sleeping in on Sundays. I guess it's different for each of us and that's okay. Well I just wanna be happy, how to get there? Glad that you asked me. I think it's different for everyone. Some of us need work, others need fun. Some of us need purpose to overcome. But try to do what you love when it's said and done. Cause there's so many differences in each of us. Trust your gut, it can show you what you want. Living life, every day, late at night, not okay. All I want, and I pray, all I need are some better days. Yeah, all I need are some better days. Cause all I want, and I pray, I believe in the better days. Living life, every day, late at night, not okay. All I want, and I pray, all I need are some better days. Yeah, all I need are some better days. Cause all I want, and I pray, I believe in the better days.
I'm saying bye to all the lies and all the times you cried, saying that I wasn't right, yet I was right by your side. You manipulator, playing games, your friends commentators, and I don't know what you say about our private conversations, but it's got them hating. Thanks to all the rumors you be claiming. It's cool, I'm done with you, so they can throw you a celebration. You gon' hate it when you see me with somebody living better. I'm trying to tell you that me just doing me gon' have you jealous.
Good evening, folks, and welcome back to, well, it's Night Owls with Chris. How's it going out there? Well, more people here than I expect to see this evening. It's been a strange day. It is, it was Sunday, the 29th of December, 2024. It's still Sunday here on the East Coast of the United States, but it's already Monday on the other side of the world. And even in South Africa, it's already Monday. Well, happy Monday to folks around the world, and just a late night conversation here to talk about some things. Well, let me see how the sound is on this microphone. I switched up microphones tonight. Ooh, that sounds dead sexy. I like the sound of that. Welcome back to the program, folks. Looks like a little bit of color coordination here with my purple on-air sign going along with the purple microphone and this deep blue, not deep purple, but deep blue hoodie from the 2023 Rugby World Cup in France. Well, she loves that. That's a Tegela hat. Thank you very much. I debate about which hat to wear tonight. I've got several sitting here, including my Operation Enduring Freedom hat, my failed election campaign hat, my new 1937 Springbok cap, as well as my I identify as vaccinated cap. Anyway, Picky, it's good to see you in there. How are things? Fellow Pennsylvanian, but of a different origin, but good to see you there again. Brad Sessom says that they may have found the killer of John Benet Ramsey. Yeah, her mother died. It was her mother, I think, died. So, sad story, that whole John Benet Ramsey. The fact that she got a lot of hate because she pushed her child into that pageant nonsense at a ridiculously young age. I suppose that might fall into the culture trap that Elon Musk or Vivek Ramaswamy was denigrating America about, saying that we have cheap culture. Of course, Vivek Ramaswamy's family comes from a country where rape culture is the norm, and ethnic disparity in the world's largest democracy is a real problem. A country with a millennia-long caste system that treated people as subhumans. So I don't think we're going to take any lessons from India when it comes to culture. Just saying, it's the land of Bollywood. I enjoy Bollywood, but not exactly a culturally enriching experience, to say the least. Well, hello, folks. Brad is here. Chris Ehlers. Chris, good evening to you, or good morning. Pablo Charlie, Hakan Eggman, Jessica, and Monray Sievers in from Cape Town. Folks, didn't expect to see you all here, but thanks for being here. Listen, I want to do this thing tonight because a bit of humility here. You know, interesting to hear somebody being a hate wanker on Ronaldo's program earlier today when Ronaldo was joshing me and teasing me, and I was doing the same back to him. So I got somebody being a bit of an ass and accused me of all sorts of things. You know, I got to say this. This is obviously not directing anybody at this stream right now because none of you are guilty of this. But again, if you don't like the content, then piss off. You know, foot sec, hit the road. You know, no one's holding your hand. No one is twisting your arm. No one's holding a firearm to your shoulders. It just really amazes me, the cheekiness of people when they come on to chat sessions or the right comments on videos or they go on social media, the Dutch courage that they muster when they wouldn't have the courage to say such things in life. You know, for all the times that I got people acting like total asses, I've been all over South Africa. I'm talking about particularly some trolls from South Africa. Not one of them ever comes to a meet and greet. They've never got anything to say. None of them ever offers anything of any substance. Because if they offered any substance, they wouldn't be trolls. The occasional people who are on the opposite side of the political spectrum, they do offer alternatives. They're usually wrong. But the reason for this is that someone accused me of, basically, what's the point of the whole thing? The only reason it got my attention, really, to be honest, is the comment about that. You don't see how I possibly in the military if this is how I treat people. How I treat people. Well, I challenge anyone to find someone who's actually worked for me and has ever been treated unfairly. Not in a single instance. We all feel we've been unjustly treated. Someone didn't listen to us. A boss didn't hear what we had to say. A boss made a decision we didn't agree with. I'm talking about who's been treated unfairly in the aggregate. That's what I'm talking about. You won't find people like that. It just doesn't exist. I've led people in peace and in war, in commerce and in the government sector for over 4 decades around the world. All sorts of people from all walks of life. Christians, Muslims, Jews. Thank you for that super chat, Brett. It's late at night, but I'll ring the bell anyway. There we go. Didn't want to ring. I'm not a fan of childhood beauty pageants. Too many child rapists. Yeah. John Ramsey is now speaking out against childhood beauty pageants. These parents put risk. They do. That's not the only thing. It's kind of like the soccer moms or the baseball dads who get out of control. People living their lives vicariously through their children. It's kind of sad. But anyway, as I was saying, Thay, Drunken Yoda's here. Thumbs up for the stream. Courtney McBride. Yes, that's another reason I came on tonight is Courtney McBride. Thank you for the $2 super chat. Courtney, you did see my WhatsApp. I know you read it. I finally did receive your Christmas card. It was forwarded to me from my previous address to this current address, and it arrived after Christmas. But thank you for the card. It was very kind of you. It's okay that you said go Navy on it. I mean, it keeps you going. The need to foster the inter-service rivalry. I love it. Courtney says, sad about President Carter, who was a great president. Yeah, he was a good man. He was a truly good man. I don't think it's sad his passing. That was inevitable. It's unfortunate. We can't stop that. However, his last years were sad and unfortunate, and the political use of him during this campaign this year when he was lying there basically comatose and drooling when they were taking photo ops for the campaign was just pathetic and disgraceful. The Democrats have no respect for human dignity whatsoever as a party. Yeah, as a party. Habitat for Humanity a few times. Yeah, Habitat. Did he start Habitat for Humanity? I can't remember. Or was he just heavily involved? I thought he started, but I don't recall. But yeah, Habitat for Humanity, interesting organization. A group that builds houses to undermine capitalism, to take business away from the free market. Ooh, now there's a different take on Habitat for Humanity. You probably never heard that before. All these non-government organizations steal business from the private sector. Do-gooders who think they're helping people, and they're undermining the private sector and reducing the number of jobs available to people whom they purport to be helping. Think about it from that perspective, folks. Courtney, have you not noticed the beard is disappearing? In fact, I almost went in and cut some more off tonight. The beard is disappearing. It takes more super chats, you know. I can't afford to trim it unless I get money for the haircuts. The barber is up to $20 a haircut now. When I came in the Army, I paid $1 for my first haircut. $1. Now it's $20. Anyway, but she doesn't charge it much for a beard trim. All right. So, yeah, President James Earl Carter has passed away at the age of 100, the oldest surviving president in the history of the United States, 100 years of age. What was truly sad is how they treated him in his final years. Really, really sad. So that was a little piece why I wanted to come on tonight for late night. But the other piece I want to come on and join you folks is The Army haircut was free. No, not for us, Chris. We had to pay for our Army haircut. Basic training, I had to pay for it. It wasn't free. It was inexpensive, but it was not free. No. Trim it with scissors, then use a razor. That's how I trim it, Courtney, with scissors. I trim it up with scissors. And it's gone from down here in the past 3 months all the way up to here. You can see my neck again. Look at that. None of that crepe paper neck. There's chicken necks with wrinkles there. It's a perfectly good, healthy, smooth neck for a 30-year-old. Yep. I don't know that Gayton did approach the South African Human Rights Commission. The media reported that they were going to do that. Don't know if he did it. If we're talking about snakes on a plane, the crazy lady on a plane who claims that she wasn't intoxicated. All right. If you say so, my dear. By the way, that video I did yesterday, snakes on a plane, thanks to, well, it's still today technically. Because it came out about 25 hours ago. That one reached 15,000 views. So thank you to everybody who watched that. Nearly 1,000 hours of content viewed and 78 subscribers. That's really awesome. And I'd like to think it was pretty good analysis. But you know what? This is one of the reasons why I want to come on tonight is that I have to say this. YouTube, in so many ways, is what I always thought it was and why I always avoided it for the longest time. As a serving intelligence officer with a high level of clearance, I avoided social media because you simply can't get involved in that sort of thing. There's no prohibition on it, but good judgment. So the only thing I really put much in the way of social media was some comments on Twitter once I became an instructor at the War College. Before that, I almost never posted on Twitter. But I did that because I was at an educational institution. But I didn't really put much effort into it. Usually I was exercising, and when I still could see without reading glasses a few years back, I was walking around on the track indoors in the wintertime reading these things and just... Anyway, and then the other, of course, was LinkedIn, where I would take news articles that came out about Africa every day. I would write an analysis of a paragraph or two because it's about how much text you get. I think it's 800 characters. And I put a link to the story and I post it. And my account on LinkedIn grew from 300 or 400 people that knew me in uniform to nearly 10,000. And I was well known on LinkedIn for a long time there. But LinkedIn's obvious bias against white Anglo-Saxon Protestant males and its bigotry and its false operations by Microsoft when they took it over got me to no longer put much effort into my LinkedIn account. When LinkedIn decided to go to live stream, this is before I was doing live streaming on YouTube, they announced it, and I was among the most active people on LinkedIn with a lot of viewership. Maybe not hundreds of thousands of people follow me, but only celebrities had that many. Just regular Joes like myself rarely had more than 1,000 or 2,000 people connected and linked to them. I had close to 10,000. Anyway, the point is that I applied for the live streaming, and I was denied the live streaming. And I looked at the people that gave live streaming to. Virtually none of them were white males, only a small number. And most of the people that they gave it to were either celebrities, which is understandable because they're trying to make money, or people who were non-traditional, in other words, not majority Americans, and especially black women. They got the stream, and I never got an explanation why I didn't get it. So, I just kind of, LinkedIn didn't go anywhere. So that's the only real social media I did back then. But back to the point of this story is that LinkedIn is exactly, not LinkedIn, but YouTube is exactly what I thought it was. Over the years, I didn't post on it because to me, YouTube was a bunch of stupid, silly videos, people not doing anything. But I did notice that some people actually used this service for good and to actually produce content. But what I have to say is that I was watching videos earlier today, watching some of the most notorious videos and channels that were banned and things like that. And from some of these content creators, Brett gave another super chat. Wants $2, wants to know my thoughts on Ubuntu Mkizi Knobs, the crazy lady. Yeah, she is a bit crazy there. I think she's crazy because she's delusional. She doesn't get that she did anything wrong. She actually wants to sue the South African Police Service, and I fly half air. Lady, you haven't got a leg to stand on. You are facing assault charges. You are facing criminal injury charges. You might even be facing, all kinds of civil aviation charges for your conduct on a flight. And then to plead ignorance. Well, I didn't know that, disrupting a flight and assaulting people on a plane was a crime. You didn't know assaulting people is a crime? Give me a break. You know exactly what you did. You know exactly who you are. You were a privileged patronage puppy. And I think I treated the story very fairly. I went with Asante's biography of her. And that's another thing. So I did 3 stories on this throughout the day. one after midnight. Well, I produced it before midnight, put it all together, and I was among the very first to put a story out on this on YouTube because I was trying to get enough information. And then as more videos came out, I did a second one, which was released hours later in a premiere that hasn't done as well, about 2,000 views. And then I did a third one, but the third one was because more biographic information came out about the lady, and so it was interesting to talk about what's going on. Yeah, but she was, what she did, she knew she was doing. It's an attitude of arrogance, and it's something that people deal with every day. I mean, I'm so sick of hearing about how the stereotype about white South Africans are arrogant. They feel entitled and privileged. They're all rich, and they treat black people like dirt as if they're their slaves. I have almost never seen this attitude. In fact, the only time that I've actually seen it in a shockingly embarrassing way in my adult life was in Botswana, where an Afrikaner was abusive towards the park rangers at the entrance to Moremi Game Park in the year 2000, just a few years after the end of apartheid. I saw that arrogant, privileged, we're in charge, don't talk to me like that, Mr. Darky. I saw that attitude on display from a South African plate vehicle and some Afrikaners who were very, very disrespectful. But beyond that, I've rarely seen such thing. But what that behavior I have seen there endlessly from black South Africans and from a certain segment of black Americans who behave in that fashion. And we're seeing it all the time with videos in America with freaks gone wild, just acting like total fools, the ridiculous, sickening behavior of a certain segment of black society in America, and a significant percentage of those politically linked and economically powerful in South Africa behaving in the same fashion, while 99.9% of white folks and black folks are nothing like that whatsoever. This attitude that's constantly laid at the feet of white South Africans is actually far more prevalent amongst connected and privileged black South Africans. And it's really sad to see, but it's true. And Chris is correct. A lady wouldn't behave like that. I just, when you say that, I think of a lovely lady I know who happens to be a DA counselor. She wasn't when I first got in contact with her. She's someone that I got in contact with through LinkedIn because she was in business in South Africa. She is a lovely lady. Lana is her name, and in business, but then got into politics. I actually met her in person finally, along with a couple other DA counselors from the Johannesburg City Council, who she introduced me to on my first trip back to South Africa. Anyway, when I compare her, a very polite, lovely, respectful person, and I compare her to that savage clown, Knobs. Knobs is a good name for her. She's a knobhead. Knobs on that flight, it's just astounding the difference in character that you find. Yep. Have you seen how your sovereign citizens behave? Chris, okay, so, all right. What does that have to do with the conversation? And why are you getting defensive and attacking me? Are you not listening? So that's something I want to talk about too, because people don't listen to what's said in videos or what's said in the content. What there is a lashing out at me because you're lashing out as if I've attacked South Africa when I didn't attack South Africa. I attacked segments of your culture and our culture simultaneously. And I didn't attack, I simply pointed out what's going on there. Anyway, so, yeah, have I seen our sovereign citizens? Yeah, I've seen it. These people are ridiculous. They're ridiculous. They misread the Constitution. They act like fools. But some of them are dangerous. Some of the dangerous. But they're more dangerous than Hollywood because Hollywood likes to play up who they are and what they're all about. Yeah. Anyway, hey, Chris Maurice here. I heard Juju has been missing. It took so bad. Stop taking. I don't know if he's taking those drugs. Yeah, well, the sovereign citizens can be very dangerous. Arctic says, not my culture. Any Afrikaans lady who acts like that. No, Arctic, no. Lana's a lovely, very polite, respectful person with one of those amazing South African accents that truly wonderful. So according to sovereign citizens are fringe lunatics and believe in silly conspiracy theories. That's true. They certainly can be. Anyway, but that 15,000, I haven't had 15,000 view video in some time. So, yeah. But what I wanted to say here, and I'm getting myself off track a few times, is YouTube's been around for a long time, and it's been controversial at times. It's been a place fostering violent content, harm to minors, pornography at times, and a platform that for years refused to take responsibility for people's borderline criminal conduct on YouTube. I mean, YouTube has been a place where people have committed murder. They've used YouTube as an alibi. We had the famous YouTuber, one of the most famous early YouTubers in history with millions of viewers and hundreds of millions of views, if not billions, who was a gamer and recorded his gaming, played it, streamed it as if he was live to go murder his ex-girlfriend. Yeah, and then, yes, I thought her bike was stolen in Iraq, not Iran, Chris. Hey, Lori Lettinen's in from Finland. So YouTube has had a long checkered history, and it began finally reacting and censoring things in the main around 2018, 2019. And they went overboard. There's Courtney McBride with $2. Thank you for that, Courtney. White Mischief. Never seen it, Courtney. I assume that's some sort of video that demonizes 230 million Americans based on their skin color. If that's what it is, and if I made a video saying black folks are lazy, which isn't true, that would be horrible, and people would attack me for being racist. But if someone can write or make a movie about white people and stereotype them, they get away with it. So I don't know what that movie's about. I'm just assuming you're going there. But there is some pretty amazing content on on YouTube, and it sometimes makes me feel like a rube, like an untalented rookie. Certainly from a cinematography standpoint. When I watch the incredible transitions and video editing and music that people somehow are able to find without getting copyright claims, and I see people using other people's videos all the time. They put disclaimers and they never get strikes. I just haven't quite figured this out with YouTube. About the British aristocracy and their hedonism at Kenya during World War II. No, haven't seen it, Courtney. Thank you for sharing that. Okay. Do it. Sovereign citizens can and are allowed to test the Constitution. Don't understand by that. Yeah. So there's a guy. There was a lot of famous YouTubers who are out there, most of whom I pay very little attention to. I don't fully understand the appeal of some of these folks. Some are interesting, but how they get so big, sometimes it just takes one video and people take off. But, I was watching this one Notorious videos. This guy, Visual Venture, who's got 860,000 subscribers. Very calm, mellow, tells stories and talks about things. So he was doing one earlier. I watched Notorious videos deleted from YouTube. Very professionally done. Very good content. He did it yesterday. It's 373,000 views. I've never had a 373,000 view video, but then I also don't have 840,000 subscribers. So I've come to the realization that my channel is unlikely to ever achieve the 100,000 viewers, which I was on path for back in the day. And to, bemoan that or be upset about that or complain about that is just silly. It's not why I created the channel. I created the channel because I'm an early adopter of technology, so I've had the channel since 2006. And I created it so that I could test it out and see if it was worthwhile. And for me, it wasn't worthwhile for a long time. I simply didn't use it because of my status. And then when I did use it, it was to promote my consultancy, which I really haven't done much with. This year was the least amount of revenue I've drawn from consultancy since I started doing it, since I retired from the military. This year is the first time since I first retired I seriously considered looking for employment because the inflation has really been disastrous. It's really eaten into my income and limited my ability to do things. So very frustrating. So also just, not to get too disconnected from formal employment. So it's another reason I considered it. So it's been a interesting year, but the YouTube stuff. So notorious videos deleted from YouTube, and some of these are really nasty ones. People doing harmful things and nothing being done about it. I see that even Mr. Beast, the powerful, infamous, famous, all-knowing Mr. Beast, has had a difficult year this year for him. Hundreds of millions of views is not a difficult year, but people are saying that his Netflix show apparently, or Amazon show, whatever it is flopping. It's not doing very well. I don't know. I don't find Mr. Beast even remotely interesting. Then, of course, there's Penguins Zero. That guy's got 16 million subscribers. I don't really get his appeal. I guess he was a gamer, and maybe that's how I got started. But a lot of these guys were gamers and got started. Mr. Beast is suspected of things, okay? Waiting for the license department to renew my license. Thank you for streaming and making the wait easier. Driver's license, CB? Where else can you have this? You shack my comment off like nothing. Huh? What are you talking about? I have no idea what you're talking about. Where else can you have this? Have what? Have what, Drunken Yoda? You shack my comment off like nothing. You mean shake my comment off like nothing? Am I incorrect? I read your comment. It was on the heels of a super chat. You said, do it. Sovereign citizens can or allowed to test the Constitution unlike anywhere else. I don't understand. Do what? Do what? Sovereign citizens allowed to test the Constitution. Yeah, anyone can test the Constitution. You can challenge it any time. That's why we have a court system. I don't understand. It's about, okay, so Brett says he didn't drink. He and his friends have been victimized by Black South Africa for 2 years after apartheid, and he couldn't see that most Black South Africans are not bad. Huh? Oh, Artie says some Afrikaners come across as arrogant in English. It's a struggle for some of us. Yeah, no, that's true. And culturally, some Afrikaners come across as arrogant to non-Afrikaans speakers, and it's unfortunate. But yeah, so yeah, driver's license. And Drunken Yoda's putting his hands over his eyes. Okay, I'll go back to another comment. You gave a fist bump and a party thing. Jimmy came to meet my grandfather, Chief Harrison, back in the day in Georgia on the good days. I don't understand what that comment means. Who's Chief Harrison? Who's Jimmy? Am I missing something here? Oh, Jimmy Carter. Jimmy Carter. Is that who you're talking about? Jimmy Carter? I mean, Drunken Yoda, this is what? What are you drinking? The devil down in Georgia tonight? That was 15 minutes ago. Chief Harrison, your grandfather. Okay. All right. Well, sorry I missed that, Drunken Yoda. But I haven't seen you lately, so I have no idea what you're going at here. Did I get it now? Yeah. Okay. So your granddad met Jimmy Carter. I didn't skip your comment. I didn't see that one. It was on the heels. Those things are. Yeah, it's you don't see all the comments. You know, I see that. People talk to me after and say, hey, you know, like I put up the Sharky. He's hanging from the yardarm up here earlier today because the Stormers beat the Sharks on Saturday in URC action in Cape Town, 24-20, in a very tense game, quite a good game. So I hung the Shark up by his heels, by a string hanging there, as if he walked the plank and fell off the edge into the sea. And I didn't think anybody saw it. But apparently Marilyn, one of my loyal viewers, saw it and commented on it 2 or 3 times when I said nobody saw it, and then a couple other people. But I didn't see your chat. I don't see everything, folks. I mean, I've got a studio here. If you can imagine, I'll take a picture someday of how this works so you guys can see how the source is. And so you imagine everything's at my disposal, in theory, here to control this broadcast. And so I've got my image there. I can see myself, so I'm talking to myself, not just at a wall. And then everything behind me on the camera. The chat is located over here on the side. Then I have a mixer down here to show me all the different things you bring into it. You can turn your desktop audio on. You can put your microphones on, your cameras, your action, videos, things like that. Then I have the sources for those things over here. So, for instance, I have a folder called Giselle Music, but also has Dean Chancey in there. So then, of course, we have this lovely folder with videos to show, which brings us funny things like the following. Where are you at? Here, like this is in that folder.
It's just a goat.
No, it's a fucking goat.
Yeah, so that's in a folder. Yeah, so those things at my disposal. It's not the easiest thing to work with. I also have one of those panels that Yanni Fundamai loves, and Ronaldo has it, the Stream Deck, but it's sitting here unused now for 3-4 years. It's plugged in and I never use it. I don't have anything set up on it there, so, yep. What's that? In fact, I did set a button up. I don't remember what that button is for. Hang on a second here. So, yeah. Oh, it's Pretzel. I didn't even use Pretzel. It was a crappy website. Remember, Chris, South Africans have short attention spans. No YouTube channels really got grown since COVID. Some have attained about 70% of viewers, but most are 20%. No, you're right, Arctic. That's a very fair point. And look, I think I'm one of the first to identify, people can correct me if they disagree, that that was a unique time and that momentum couldn't continue. And that's what was so frustrating for me, is that when I was fraudulently attacked by trolls and YouTube was supporting the trolls attacking people on the center and right of center, and so my channel was taken down without any genuine if I had violated the terms and conditions of YouTube's standards, my channel would never have been restored, because those videos that I was attacked for, that ilk, are still on the channel. I just deleted them or hid them on the original channel after I came back, because out of abundance of caution, but didn't do it immediately. So my channel was restored years after it was taken away, proving that I never violated the standards. But the point is that they achieved what they wanted. I was soaring at that time and had gone from 2 subscribers in early 2020 to 23,000 by November. And then because of my coverage of the election and then the January 6th coverage, I became too big a threat. And so they targeted me and took away my channel, lost all the momentum. And that unique time in history when everybody was going to social media because they were trapped at home, suicides were rising, isolation was there, people were discovering things. That's the time that people came. Now, a lot of people won't be watching social media or be on social media the way they were before, just like a lot of people aren't doing a lot of things they did before, because culture and society has changed. All culture, all society has changed because of the scam and the harm that the political authorities on the political left did to human communities in 2020, 2021, 2022. Some of that's never coming back. And it's just unfortunate for me that it was fortunate that I jumped in when I did, which made me, I guess, I denied this, but I guess at some point you can't deny it. I'm a minor celebrity in South Africa. But I mean, you don't just travel everywhere in the country and people come up to you and recognize you just because it's just, unless people know who you are. But that doesn't translate into the views. It doesn't translate into the revenue generated. It doesn't translate into the growth of the channel. But as Arctic said, a lot of people are struggling. I wouldn't say I'm struggling. My channel is as strong. This channel is as strong or stronger than it's ever been. It's at its peak number of subscribers right now. What we're not seeing, though, is the dedicated viewership where people just tuned in all the time. Because they have lives, and that's good. I'm glad that people have lives. They don't spend all their time doing this sort of thing. But I don't know, at times I feel kind of like a piker, I've done a lot to improve the quality and the professionalism of my broadcast and my videos, paying for editing software, all on my own. Nobody's showing me how to do it. And if I bought Ronaldo's story, then I'm an old guy. You should actually be kind of impressed that I managed to figure this all out and do all this as an old guy all on my own without anybody's help. But then if you know anything about me, you'll know that I've always been a techie kind of guy, and in that respect, a nerd kind of guy. I'm not a nerd, but the aspects of being a nerd from the tech side, always been there, always built computers, always wrote software, dabbled on the edge, built computers. So it shouldn't be shocking. But anyway, still, I have always improved my battle position. You see, I'm using this boom microphone with this one here, and then I use the microphone in front of myself. I use green screens. I use editing software, but paid for quality microphones and cameras, and I travel the world. And, but still, at times, I feel like my production is kind of amateurish. I can see some of these other folks. But then I realized that, like these young teeny boppers that are doing videos, they're subsidized and paid for. There's people behind them. They have entire, wealthy people or organizations or networks that are sponsoring them, trying to ride the wave to get the views. So there's only a handful of people that actually do this from their home, that actually continue to do it from their home. And I've refused all sponsorship. I've had people ask me to sponsor their items. I'm not saying I'll always do that, but I've never seen sponsorship that I want to get behind. I'm not going to come out and go, listen, you should buy this outdoor food. It's good for 30 years, and you can put it in your basement for the coming apocalypse. I'm not going to do that. Yeah. Or you should have a generator before the lights go out. And people also oftentimes ask me about investment. It's about investments, to endorse things in investments. I never do that. That's you should only invest something that's at your discretion, not on someone else's advice. So let me go back to this. I want to come back to these YouTube creators. I want to talk about a little bit more. But so Drunken Yoda, I got to the story you wanted me to see. So sorry I missed that. The best bet, Drunken Yoda, is when you have something like that, if it gets missed, don't do it immediately because it becomes annoying. It becomes troll-like. But go back and copy that text and then paste it once again after a fair amount of time if the content creator has not recognized it. Arctic says, remember, South Africans have short attention spans. Well, they're not alone. Americans have short attention spans, too. No YouTube channel has really grown since COVID. Yeah, that's not entirely true, too, although it's kind of artificial. This channel has certainly grown since COVID. But it had no choice because the other channel was obliterated. But let me just go back and take a look at the analytics here and see how it's grown. Lifetime. Here we go. Come on, YouTube. A little slow tonight, aren't you there, YouTube? Okay. So, let's for the last year. Let me go back 1 year ago. So 1 year ago, this channel had 13,730 viewers on December 30th of last year. So it has grown by 40% in the past year. So that's pretty significant growth. But I've Still not at the level that I was at on the original channel. Still over 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 viewers more. And that other channel, which is back, still has 21,000 viewers. So let's go to the lifetime of this, and I can look back the past 2 years. So last year, okay, as I said, we were at 13,000, but we had a huge jump in October, November. So in October of last year, it was only 11,700. So yeah, it's almost double what it was from 13 months ago. So let's go back to 2023, and that was a slow year of growth. It was 8,200. So it doesn't look as impressive. So go back to 2022, or 2020, excuse me. We were at December, we were at 5,000. Let's go December 31st, December 30th. Yeah, 5,200 viewers. So we're 4 times as large as we were 3 years ago. At this time 3 years ago, we were 1/4 the size the channel is now. That'd be great. If it grew 4 times as large in the next 3 years, it'd be close to approaching 100,000. But then if we go back to 2021 when it started, we were at 1,000 on June 26th of 2021. So that's 3.5 years ago. We had 1/20th of our current number of subscribers. So you're saying that YouTubers, I'm not a South African YouTuber, but some people lump me in with that because of my coverage and the way I do things. So from that standpoint, it's fair to say that I guess you could count me as a South African YouTuber in that respect, even though I'm a South African. I have grown immensely. But it's not like it could have been. I mean, I look at the meteoric rise of the other channel. I watched that, and it just took off. I mean, getting 2,500 subscribers in one stream was incredible. And I won't see that again anytime soon because the nature of YouTube has changed. So this is why I don't complain about the views. Seriously, I chat about it at times. Drunken Yoda said an awesome video from the Firehouse Museum, I think. Oh, in Georgia. Yeah. I had a really good one down there. It's an Afrikaans thing, come across as arrogant. I get that a lot. Yeah, it is, Jessica. Well, I mean, so I get it. I'm getting it now from people too. You know, like the nonsense that Jonah was saying on Ronaldo's channel earlier today. And I've gotten it from a couple people here in a local community at the Veterans Organization. Like, well, you kind of put people off. I said, this has come from 1 or 2 people. What do you mean put people off? Well, you're brash and demanding. What? Brash and demanding? Whatever. We all have our shortcomings and foibles. But to hear that nonsense earlier, I don't see how you possibly survived and treated privates like that. You don't know how I treated privates. You never served under me. You don't know how I treated lieutenant colonels and colonels. You know, it really irritates the piss out of me when people say stupid things like that because they're just being asses and they don't know what they're talking about. So I had a non-commissioned officer, I talked about this before, who's originally from Ethiopia, born there. His family migrated when he was a child and became an American. Joined the Army, and when I got to Botswana, he was doing a job for someone that was a senior non-commissioned officer. So he was doing a job as someone with 6 or 8 years in military uniform that normally a person with 16 to 25 years would be doing with far greater experience at a far higher level of pay and rank. And he was doing it in an office with only a handful of people that had so many other demands, plus his job. So frankly, he was doing a very poor job when I got there, a very poor job. And the person he replaced, I happen to know, who was a senior NCO, who did a fantastic job in that position, working in our embassy in Botswana before I arrived, because I knew him from working in Africa, because we deal with all these folks around the continent. And so I came, and this NCO was there, and he was struggling. And it was very frustrating for me, very frustrating for me. As a consequence of his struggling, I had to go behind him many times and ensure things were done, or get someone else to do it, or do it myself, or constantly teach and train him. But that's what leaders are responsible for. And I was fortunate that I didn't have a large organization, so I could take the time to do that and be patient with him. I knew that he had potential and that he could do the job. So, but I had no obligation to do that. I could have fired him and had him sent home because he was just not getting the job done. But that didn't seem to be useful for me, so from my perspective. So I was patient with him, and in the end, he did an absolutely amazing job. When it was time for his end of tour, when he was rotating out, he was due an award. We typically give awards when people leave, they've done a good job, military decorations. And so I put him in for a very senior level of award, a Joint Commendation Medal. And, it was a combination. Or was it DMSM? Maybe it was DMSM, I think I put him for. It's a very high award. Defense Meritorious Service Medal, something like that. Try to remember. It's been a while. Anyway, I put him in for the award. And the Africa Command had just stood up, and so I went and found their directions on, their process for doing awards, submitting them, who reviews them, the board that meets. And so I set it up, and it was sent back to me a short time later. It was perfunctorily denied and downgraded 3 levels down. Well, I wasn't happy. This isn't right. These people don't know the person. Did I do a bad job in the write-up? So I contacted the new Command Sergeant Major up at the Africa Command, and I said to him, Sergeant Major, you're responsible for the awards board, aren't you? He said, yes, I am, sir. I was Lieutenant Colonel at the time. I said, Mark Ripa was his name, Sergeant Major Ripa. And I said, Sergeant Major, I submitted a reward nomination for my NCO, and it was returned to me, and I'm not satisfied with the reasons it was returned. He said, I'll look into it, sir. He came back to me. He said, sir, I wrote the write-up. Is this true? I said, absolutely. He's done an amazing job. He got an E5, a sergeant doing a sergeant first class's job, at least a decade less experience. He's running programs for tens of thousands and a couple of hundreds of thousands of dollar programs as an inexperienced young non-commissioned officer in a remote assignment. He's isolated, not getting paid sufficiently for what he's doing, and he doesn't complain. He gets it done, and he does it with aplomb. He wasn't good at the job when he started, but he grew into it, and I think he's doing a job well above his station. So our major said, all right, sir. He reconvened the board, and he made them actually read the profile, obviously, or the packet. They hadn't clearly read it, and he got his award. Same thing happened with my National Guard, also in Botswana, my National Guard major, who I wrote up for an above center mass, in other words, a top performer award. This goes to the smallest number of people who have the most potential to lead to the next level. Now, I didn't like the guy, not personally, but professionally. Professionally, he was a pain in the ass. He had arrived in Botswana before I did and was doing my job because I wasn't there yet, which is fine. Well done. But when I came, he was cutting me out of the loop. It was my job to run the place. And he kept having meetings with people without my knowledge. He kept doing things that I was unaware of, not telling me about things that the embassy needed. So he was doing it. So he was being relied on, and he was undermining my command. So my options were to fire him or to dress him down. I tried to take the approach of not embarrassing him and making it clear that I'm the person. And I did that by taking control of the HIV program, which was in disarray because it wasn't something he's familiar with and it had been neglected. So I took control of that program and mentored a young Botswana who wasn't getting the job done, who now is amazing, and made it clear that it was my responsibility. When it came time for his evaluation, because of his talent and his potential, even though I personally was not happy with him, my personal feelings aren't germane. His performance and potential are what are germane. And you must, as a leader, make the decision for the best of the organization, the best of the community, the best of society, the best of your polity. And that's what I did. And I recommended him for an above center mass. It was declined, sent back to me, and I was told, not by the general who signs it, but by his team around him, that, well, he's in the National Guard. Basically, what they're saying is that the National Guard reserve officers are bill payers. In other words, they pad the profile and put all of them in the middle, and then those who are active duty, they can promote some of them higher. And I said, the problem with that is that we rely on the Guard and Reserve. They're equal. Just because they only do it part-time doesn't mean they're not the same military, the same officers, the same NCOs. And if you evaluate people based on where they come from, rather than who they are and what they can become, you undermine the organization. And so I pushed back, I fought, I called the general, who happened to be the same general that wrote my last evaluation later on, went to the board. Hopefully that was one reason I did well on that one. And I argued with him. I said, sir, I don't know what they briefed you on, but this is an injustice. I was told the reason you didn't give him an above center mass wasn't because of the job he did and my write-up. They said that was fine. It warranted an above center mass. But because he's in the Guard, he's going to be a bill payer. I said, that's not right. That's not right. And the general agreed with me. And his evaluation was upgraded. And he later got promoted to Lieutenant Colonel in the North Carolina National Guard. That's what leaders do. That's how you handle things properly. Anyway, Lori Letton wants to know, did I send my application to DOD? Lori, I didn't do any applications. I was asked to provide my CV. I did so. I've sent my CV. So I don't know if the spat with Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy is going to have an impact on that, because I've not come out in favor of their conduct. I found it reprehensible and insulting to Americans. They seem to think that they know it all, and they don't. And just because you're rich and powerful doesn't mean you should be unchecked. Correct? And DSTV sucked in COVID. They could have made a fortune. Oh, yeah. DSTV could have made a fortune if they knew what they were doing, but they didn't. Alan says, I run a driving school. 1988 South African film. No, I've never seen that movie, Courtney. Janet's in from South Carolina. Welcome to you. You and I had disagreements about COVID. I don't recall any disagreements we had about the COVID vaccine, Brett. I never told people to take it or not take it. I never said it was dangerous or not dangerous. The only thing I ever said about it, and I didn't disclose my status. I never disclosed my status during that COVID scam. But what I recall about that is that I told people to make their own informed decisions. That's what I said. And the other thing I said about it is if there's something wrong with it, then in the end, the people we need to blame at the front of that list will be Donald Trump, because he took all the safety measures off. He took all the FDA measures that are meant to protect the development of vaccines, and we went from developing a vaccine an average of 7 to 20 years in 7 months. So that's what I said about it. So I don't know what disagreement we're talking about, Brett. If we disagreed, I don't recall it. I'm not denying it. I'm just saying I don't recall us having a disagreement. You weren't offended by my speeches. What speeches, Brett? My COVID speeches. I was very careful when it came to COVID, and that's not why I was censored. I was never censored for COVID. I was censored for political things. Yeah, a lot of people should not be on social media. Agreed, Arctic. Raise your kids, work harder, spend time. Yep. And Brett's a lot busier. Yeah, he's got a life again. Brett's started other employment. Yep. What else? Brett is headed to bed, okay. Doing voiceover seems to be a new trend. Yeah, that and AI content, and I'm not really interested in that right now. So, many people don't belong in dumb chat. It's true. The notion of recognition. Channels that grow are channels that are bringing factual events to people that are otherwise disillusioned by mainstream media. Well, that's what I do, Chris. But these events aren't unfolding, certainly not in front of me. I mean, when YouTube was blowing up and when my channel was growing, I covered Senecal. To my knowledge, I was the only YouTuber covering South Africa that covered Senecal live when it happened. I'm not talking about the Senecal 2 when Big Daddy Liberty went to the Free State and everybody and their brother Willem Petzer showed up down there and all these YouTubers were covering it suddenly. Everybody covered it. I'm talking about the first time at the hearing when the 2 accused were taken to the courthouse and the Bucky was turned over. I was covering that live. I covered the Brockenfell mess with the EFF. I covered Senecal 2. I covered the Witkreuze Monument that year. I covered Black Monday that year. I covered so many events live from here. I wasn't in South Africa because I couldn't travel there because of the COVID scam. And I did that all the time. But those events aren't unfolding now, and people's behaviors changed. So I'm not sure what you're talking about there, Chris, about bringing factual events. I bring factual events on a daily basis. So am I missing something I need to change? Alan says, if you don't come right, let me know in a future chat. Contacts in Ramberg. I don't know what you mean by come right, Alan. Come right with what? I've been saying a lot of things. I'm just getting to your chat now. Postal Service gets a day off when a funeral of a former president is held. Really? I didn't know that. Oh, I think that Chris is talking to, not to me, to CB about coming right on the license. Courtney's correct. Yeah, achievement. Well, he got a Defense Meritorious Service Medal as a sergeant. Put that one in your pipe. That's a pretty significant award. Chris Ayler's had the same experience when he's transferred to run the Cape Town factory. Staff were working against me. The staff wanted to come colored running the show, but no one had the skill. There you go. Courtney says, did you ever have any Navy sailors work under you? I was once part of an Army unit, worked under a lieutenant colonel when I was a Defense Logistics Unit. Yeah, no, of course, Courtney. So 36 and a half years in the Army, and from 2000, well, from 1999 until 2015, so 15 and a half years, I served in joint duty assignments, not in an Army assignment. I was in the Army, but I was serving in joint duty assignments, including U.S. Africa Command, U.S. European Command, multiple embassies in Africa, deployments, language school, things like that. It wasn't until I returned to the Army War College that I went back to an Army assignment. So my Army assignment in 1999 was the commander of the intelligence unit, the counterintelligence unit in Italy, covering all of Southern Europe. I left there and then did 15 and a half years of joint assignments, inter-service, and then finally came back to the Army for my final tour, which wasn't the intent, but that's what happened. So during that time, I had Navy officers work for me, Navy enlisted work for me, Marines work for me, Air Force work for me. Yeah, absolutely. And I worked for for all of those services as well. Navy Admiral, worked for Navy Captain one time, worked for Marines. Yeah, yep. I worked for all of them. Yep. Courtney says the highest medal I have is a Joint Service Achievement Medal. Yep. Oh, yeah. Chris says, you're spot on. I'm saying you're bringing news. It's about exposure. No, you're right. And that's the thing, Chris. It just takes one video to go viral, one thing to catch on. And it's not a conspiracy by YouTube, although clearly there was one going on at one point. I don't think that's really much in play anymore. But it really does come down to promotion of content. So I don't know how many views Ronaldo got on his video today. I produced my video hours before he produced his. And they're very different in their approach to how we deal with the crazy lady on the plane. His video is fine. I think mine's outstanding, but hey. But he has 131,000 subscribers and I have 20,000. So all things being equal, he should get many more views. So let me go over and see if I can see how many views it tells me. Now, the views it tells me is not going to be the actual number because YouTube has trailing data. So, but it should be close at this point. Well, let me see if I can find Ronaldo. Hang on a second here. Ronaldo. Okay, I want to see how many views it tells us he has. Okay, this says he has 67,000 views on that video. That's incredible. 19 hours ago, 67,000 views on that video. Whereas my video is nowhere near that, but it's still one of the best videos I've had in a long time. Come on, YouTube. There we go. Content's what I want. Okay, here we go. Mine is over 15,000. Let me see how many hours ago. So his is 19 hours ago. Mine was published 22 hours ago. So it came up 3 hours before his did. And mine has 15,000 views. But with 131,000, 6.5 times the size of my channel, all things being equal, this isn't direct math, but you know, it's a benchmark. At 6.5 times the size of my video, he should have 6 times as many views as me. All things being equal, covering the same topic and the same target audience. So 6 times 15,000 would be 90,000. So if you use that as a metric, his video would be underperforming or mine is overperforming. It's a combination of the two. But you're right, exposure. If I had 130,000 subscribers, just by sheer numbers, I would get many more views. So, but you know, that's good for Ronaldo because his live streams have been down. I'm pretty happy about my live streams, to be honest. If I look at the number of live viewers, consistently between 75 and 125 on a long-term basis now over the past several months. Sometimes it spikes hundreds more, sometimes it's lower, particularly for something like this, an odd hour. It's early hours of the morning in South Africa, an unannounced broadcast. So we have 33 people here right now, which is not very many, but it's an awesome group of people here. So that's what matters. So, you know, all things being equal, you know, but I do wish I had 16 million subscribers and I could do so many more things with this program. As it is, almost everything on this channel, everything, despite the super chats, all that put together, if I put all the super chat money together from all my channels, and there's 3 that pay back to me, I take the money from all 3 of those channels. It might have paid for my flights to South Africa and a few of my nights in a hotel and maybe a few rentals, but it hasn't paid for all the rest. It certainly doesn't pay for all my time and resources. But anyway, yeah, so if I had 16 million followers and I was getting 300,000 and 500,000 views per video, I probably wouldn't even mess around with super chats. I'd just turn it off. There's no point in asking for super chats because the ad revenue would make me incredibly wealthy. These content creators with over 250,000 viewers that are based in the U.S., many of them don't even have to work if they don't want to. I do this out of pocket because I'm trying to make a difference in the world. So, people in South Africa are disillusioned by news, so that, yeah, no, you're right, Chris. But it's not just there. People around the world are disillusioned by news. But the thing is, people still go somewhere for the news, and a lot of people go to Twitter for the news, especially younger people. So Chris says, just not me. My mama never told me I'm awesome. I'm sorry to hear that, Chris. You are awesome. Roger Rabbit's back, waiting orders. Well, hit the like button. Mike says, crikey, it's late night. It is indeed late night. It's a true night owls here. Oh, my YouTube is frozen over here. YouTube Studio has been acting up of late, and that's what I'm talking about. So let me get to my content again, my live. I got to reopen it so I can see the chat and live feed coming in. Can you let's be a VP? I don't think so. I think in order to be the vice president, you have to be a natural-born U.S. citizen. Natural-born doesn't mean born in the United States. It means on U.S. soil. So the canal zone, well, that's not loading. What is going on here, YouTube? Am I still live? I don't have my mobile here, so I can't even pull that up. What the hell is going on here? Okay, I don't even know if I'm live here, folks. Oh, I'm on. Thank you, Roger. So how do we consumers help your channel? Well, one way you can help me, thank you, Chris, that's a fair question, is tell people about my channel. Ask people to come watch my channel. This is not opening up. There we go. Something was wrong with YouTube. I couldn't get to my studio. So thank you for that, Roger Rabbit. That's one way you can help me, is answer my question there, which you did. Okay, yeah. The YouTube studio has been wonky for the past 2 weeks. It'll freeze and then you can't see. So I have my streaming software here on this screen. On that screen, I have, one day I'm going to grab a camera and just spin it around and show you this. I have on that second screen, I have my studio in a web browser. And I don't know if it's Firefox or YouTube. I think it's YouTube, because I'm having other problems with YouTube that are just weird. Not targeting me, just YouTube problems. You know, it's a huge platform with millions of servers and data all over the world. You know that in every minute, 500 hours of content is uploaded to YouTube. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Every single minute, a minimum of 500 hours of content by content creators all over the world. So this stuff happens. But anyway, what I was getting at is that it locks up over here. So on this one, I can see your chat. And let me fix that. Live chat. There we go. I can see your chat over there. I can see the number of viewers. I get my data on the screen. Sometimes you see that. In fact, I can show you that screen here. We'll do this really quickly. You've probably seen it when I made a mistake and put it on screen in the past. But here we go. This is intentional now. So there you go. So that's what I see in my browser. So I'm going to wave my hand, and then you're going to see it in the very tiny corner up there. And now you see multiple screens. Just keeps, it's fading back one screen after the other. But that's what you see. And I can see the what you see in the upper left-hand corner, my data in the center there where that line is, showing me the number of viewers, the amount of time people have been watching it, the dips and troughs and things I'm talking about. See, this channel's got more viewing now than it has the whole stream. All the chat over here and all the administrative stuff. So let me just go ahead and close that down. So anyway, yeah, so that has been freezing lately. And when that freezes, I don't know if I'm still live or if I'm buffering or what's going on. So anyway, Roger Rabbit says you're my favorite channel. Really, Roger Rabbit? Well, thank you for that. We don't see you very often, so you don't on here much. But how can consumers help me? Well, Chris, you can tell people about my channel. You can promote it and let people know about it on social media, or people you know about, and say, hey, you know, I was listening to this, and like, who's that? Who talked about that? You can speak well of me if you believe well of me. I appreciate that. That's something you can do. Yeah, and then if you're on other channels, say a channel that interviews people, that's a bigger channel, you can mention me, or if a topic, like for instance right now, I saw that Conscious Caracal appeared on television talking about land and land issues in South Africa, and he sent me a link to that, and I watched that, his appearance on, was it ENCA or something like that, and I wrote back and I said, wow, this sounds an awful lot like the article that I wrote a few years ago. He said, what article? I said, well, everything you said is pretty much on the spot for what I've been arguing about years now about land issue in South Africa. And so I sent him the link. Anyway, but you can mention that other channels sort of thing. So, all right, Mike says, hoot, hoot. Help Woodsy spread the word. Don't be a dirty bird. Woodsy the owl. We got only you can prevent forest fires. That's Smokey the Bear. Yes, I do share your channel, and yes, I do regard you as a legitimate news source and honest person. Well, thank you, Chris. I do appreciate that. And Chris, I want to thank you for, this isn't to get into this now, but you have shared deeply personal parts of your life on this channel. Confused a lot of people early on, but because they didn't understand what was going on, and me included briefly. But that's a very personal journey for you, and you shared it, and it was unnecessary, but very generous of you to share like that. Anna Marie Nell is here. Oh my goodness. Yes, I know. It's because of the angle it's at. If I turn the microphone and face it up, yeah, sorry. So if I go this way, you can't hear me very well. Yeah, I have to basically eat the microphone to get the good deep bass sound. Then I sound like what's his name there? Luther Vandross. What's his name there? Luther Vandross. Now I've had the time of my life. Well, that's not Luther Vandross, though. Yeah. So I know I'm aware of that. I have to remember when I'm using this microphone to film videos to not turn my head away because then the sound fades off. Yep. I like honesty too. I don't want my skeletons found out. Skeletons. I'm sure we all got skeletons somewhere. Anna Marie Nell. Anna Marie, if I recall correctly, is the person who broke the news to me that my original channel had disappeared. Did you guys know that? I think it was Anna Marie. Wasn't Anna Marie? She got married. But Anne Marie just lift that up so my posture was bad there. Let me sit up. But I was leaning over so I could be right in the microphone. But I got a text message, if I remember correctly, it was from Anne Marie. I woke up early morning and like, where's your channel at? Your channel's gone. Did you know your channel's gone? I didn't know. Went looking and my channel had been removed. I appealed and they told me to get stuffed. Yep. Anyway, so I was talking about these content creators, and this guy's got a really good channel. I don't really push and recommend other channels, but Visual Venture is the guy. Let me get to his channel. You can check it out. He's only got 74 videos, but he did a video a month ago that has 1 million views. Yeah, one from 6 months ago, 900,000 views. He's done several in the past couple days. He normally doesn't. He does like one a month, if that. But he's done 1, 2, 3, one every week basically. 4 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. So yeah. Anyway, so he writes about some very interesting things. But Visual Ventures, he's got 861,000 subscribers. Task and Purpose channel. I don't know that one. So yeah, I'm not a YouTube consumer in the way that a lot of people are. Well, that's what I want to address. Let me do this. We're an hour into this, but let me address this. So I mentioned this in my stream earlier today. People watching my videos or not watching them and drawing conclusions or hearing what they want to hear, not what is said. My first video about the crazy lady on the plane, the snakes on the plane, Knobs Mkize, my video about her, I never claimed that the woman was colored. I never said that. What I did is I quoted her, and I even put the quote on the screen in quotation marks as I read the quote so as not to confuse people. Yet multiple people commented, she's not colored. She's not colored. Never claimed she was. She insulted colored folks on the flight, 2 colored flight attendants, and she assaulted a black flight attendant. Never claimed she was colored. Please watch the content. Don't make assumptions or claims that were never stated. Mike says, watched you on the Common Sense Conservatives and Caravan shows, Spreads the Net. Yeah, look, I do the Common Sense Conservatives. Number one, because it was nice to be asked to do it, and I'm a founding member of the program. It's very inconvenient, always on Wednesday nights for me, and it's I don't know that it grows my reputation of the channel at all, but it does keep me on radio, and I actually like being on radio. That's something I consider doing, but I don't know how to break into it. I was in radio a long time ago when I was at university. And I enjoy radio. Radio is a nice medium. So I just, this is a nice substitute for it. But that's a real radio station, a genuine terrestrial radio station. So it's kind of cool to be on there. And that's why I do it, because I was asked to do it. But it really is inconvenient, to say the least. Yep, I never claimed she was, Chris. But you go back and look at the chat comments. It's just amazing what people presume or claim that I said on that program. Anyway, so congratulations, Ronaldo. 67,000 views on that. Yeah, by comparison, his sec chat on November 4th had 700 views. Yep. And now here's the irony. So he does the ANC bitch video, gets 67,000 views 19 hours ago. And 10 days ago, he had exclusive footage proving conclusively that Christopher Logan is a pathological liar. He showed the footage, caught him in the lies. That should have been groundbreaking. That only has 8,600 views. 8,600 views. It's crazy. That's crazy. So, it shows you that YouTube isn't what it was or isn't what it could be. By comparison, my Christopher Logan video, let me see what I have. I know I did videos on Christopher Logan. Mine has 1,500. Yeah, so that one's about on pace with what the ratio should be for Noel and I. Whatever radio station name, we're all a pile of... Yeah, that's true. Used to listen to Jacaranda FM and East Coast Radio, but it's not worth my time anymore. The Caravan of Midnight show, I enjoy doing that with John B. Wells. That's awkward for me, though, because that's a call-in. I do that on my mobile phone. I don't like doing that. Also, I don't get to see John B. Wells. And on radio, when you can't see a person's face, it really has an impact on the conversation. So anyway, it doesn't mean we can't do it. We pull it off. He's famous for being on the radio, but he treats the internet like a radio still. So I got called the other night and asked to do that on a very short notice. I've gone on several times to fill in some time for them. Yes, Cocoranda Radio. Oh my goodness, that's funny. I thought you were going to make a podcast in South Africa. What do you mean make a podcast in South Africa, Pablo Charlie? I don't understand what you're getting at. I do have a podcast, Podbean, but not many people watched it, so I don't put effort into it. If I had a staff and backing, then I would put all of my content, especially my interviews, on podcast as well. So what do you mean a podcast? I've never been asked to be on. Well, maybe you're talking about the with the Sightlanders. The Sightlanders have a radio station and the Civil Defense Group, and I was potentially going to appear on there. Also, somebody had this big idea for CakeNet, and they were going to have a show for me. Yeah. So there have been three ventures where people promised that they were going to have me on the air in South Africa. None have materialized. That's not a slam. That's not an attack. That's not a complaint. That's the problem with telling people. So it's kind of like the thing with potentially getting into the Department of Defense. That's a crapshoot. I was reticent to mention it, but someone else let the cat out of the bag that my name had been submitted for the Defense Department under Pete Hegseth. So that's why I mention it. But the three different times, people have ideas and they don't often come to fruition. So I don't lose any sleep over that. I don't get too excited about it. So. No, not CakeNet. Cake time or Cake Time, something like that. It was a take off that, but it's a network that never got started, so never really went anywhere. So not the one you're thinking of, Chris. This is something that Giselle's husband was building, so it never really came to fruition. So, but Pablo Char, I'm not sure what you mean by making a podcast in South Africa. Is that what you're referring to? Those three things that never came to anything. Yeah. So anyway, what I did want to do is hang on a second here. So we were talking about visual ventures. What else was I talking about here? I was trying to do something here and I got off track. What is this? Goodbye 2025. Hello, huge sale. How can you say goodbye 2025? It's time for 2025. Odd. People getting ready for the New Year's event. Big time. All right, so. Oh, yeah, Penguins. I don't understand the appeal of this guy. Nothing against him. He's got 16 million subscribers, so obviously he knows something that I don't know. He's a gamer, and he's got that big YouTube thing hanging on the wall, that gold. That must be for having 1 million subscribers or something like that. This video from a year ago has 7 million views. Wow. Is that where Ronaldo got the moist thing from? Because this guy is all about moist. I don't understand it. But he's quite popular. So, anyway. Yeah, Penguins. Oh, I don't understand the whole name. Anyway. Yeah, and then this guy here, Marcus Brownlee, who's a tech guy. He's got 19.7 million subscribers. Now, I've watched his content. I don't get the appeal. I mean, obviously, it's appealing to somebody. He says he does quality tech videos. He's a geek, consumer electronics. Okay. All right, 3.6 million views, 7.6 million views, 8 million views. Yeah, 14 million views. Wow, that's a lot of views. He did a video yesterday. He said, what happened in 2024? And apparently this video is being criticized. So, anyway. But the content that he produces, like a lot of these guys, is some pretty awesome content, but it's just not my appeal. And I'm into tech, just not my appeal. So, anyway. Did Marcus Brownlee make videos with Elon Musk? Well, there you go. Yeah, well, that might explain it. Yeah, that might explain it. So, but yeah, not to my cup of tea. By the way, so Twitter is a nasty mistress. I'll tell you that. I've told people for years that for Twitter, I just didn't do anything with it. So, for instance, this one here is the current channel that I use. Is not my first channel. It has 2008, so it's been around since 2008. This channel, and that's my main channel. I renamed it after my rank last year or something like that. Anyway. I never put much effort into it, and I had gone up to over 2,000 subscribers finally. It only had like 300 some until about a year ago. I started putting a little bit of effort into it, trying to attract people to it. But my Twitter account, is again back to 2,000 followers. This is after the snakes on the plane lady and a few other things I posted this week, including my I guess Twitter discussion with Pumzile Van Dam and a few others. So it's interesting. But yeah, this is a great video here. Check this out. So this is Ayanna Pressley. I'm kind of all over the place. It's late at night, folks, so sorry about that. Ayanna Pressley in Congress complaining about a private corporation closing stores, which is none of her damn business. Private businesses don't exist to satisfy politicians. If they choose not to locate in an area because of the risk, because of the infrastructure, because of the work ethic, because of the efficacy of the workforce or productivity, that's their prerogative. You have no right to regulate them. But listen to this clown and watch the video on the right. And this explains why Walgreens is withdrawing from the marketplace where she is a member of Congress, because Democrats have allowed lawlessness to prevail. So here we go. Ayanna Pressley, this is hilarious. Juxtaposed with what's actually happening.
Mr. Speaker, Walgreens is planning to close yet another pharmacy in the Massachusetts 7th, this time on Warren Street in Roxbury, a community that is 85% Black and Latino. This closure is a part of a larger trend of abandoning low-income communities like the previous closures in Mattapan and Hyde Park, both in the Massachusetts 7th. When a Walgreens leaves a neighborhood, they disrupt the entire community, and they take with them baby formula.
If you're going to Walgreens for baby formula, there's something wrong with your purchasing habits. Walgreens is a convenience store with a pharmacy inside of it with overpriced goods because it's not a large supermarket. It doesn't make money on volume. It makes money on additional prices. You pay for convenience. Walgreens is a private corporation owned by shareholders, not by you, Ayanna Pressley, you bald-headed dingbat. And you are sitting there complaining about a private organization leaving, and you're calling it racist. What about the racist actions of the thieves in your district, in that store, stealing the store blind in broad daylight, not being prosecuted by the cops? You think that businesses should be in business, it should be in place in California and operate in California, Massachusetts, where you allow criminals to conduct themselves in the fashion that they do with no consequences? Shove it.
Diapers, asthma inhalers, life-saving medications, and of course, jobs. These closures are not arbitrary and they are not innocent. They are life-threatening acts of racial and economic discrimination. Mr. Speaker,
racial and economic discrimination. And what exactly is the theft of my property as a Walgreens shareholder by black thieves robbing a store in broad daylight because the police won't prosecute them because they're afraid of being called racist for prosecuting criminals? What exactly is that, Ayanna Pressley? Shut up and sit down. Yes, Anne-Marie, I know my younger viewers have been telling me to convert to an OnlyFans. No, actually, younger viewers have told me for years to convert my stripper chat, to convert my channel into a gaming channel. That's what I've heard for years. And I'm not sure how I do this because how do you do a gaming channel unless you use two computers? I mean, is somebody an expert on that? Because I haven't thought this through. So I have, because the game takes over your entire computer. So if I open up a game right now, it's not in an enclosed window where I can just run it like a window in Windows. It takes over the computer. So, I mean, there are exceptions to that, Minecraft and, and Solitaire, but I'm talking about, so I downloaded this game earlier today, EVE Online, and it's pretty cool. It's a space-based thing, and I was messing around with it earlier. I'd love to do gaming and do this. It'd be pretty cool, but I have to figure out how to do that. Do I have to set up another computer here next to my main computer and project it? And, I don't know how you do that. So somebody's an expert. Please let me know. Tian Fogs says stripper chat. Okay, here's my stripper chat for you. I don't have the Ronaldo thing, so I don't do stripper chats, but we will change caps. How's that? There you go. I'll put my failed Janrik Oberholzer. Boy, that's an interesting name. Janrik sounds like something from Norway or Eastern Europe, and Oberholzer is definitely German. So, Janrik, thank you for subscribing to the channel. Tian, folks, thank you for your 40 Rand super chat. So this is my failed flip cap. These are really nice caps. I had to pay, and I wasn't sold on this putty colored cap, but really cool. The nice stitching here with the blue inside. That's really nice. Check it out. So that makes the bill really cool. That's nice, good quality. This is all embroidered. There you go, Chris Wyatt, 92nd District. I like the star under the W. Come on, here it is, right there. That's pretty cool. This is the only one I have left. I bought these hats, and they weren't cheap. These cost me like, I think, close to $30 a piece to make, and handed them all out to my volunteers, and I kept one for myself. It's very comfortable, too, by the way. Yeah, Walgreens is being obliterated, so you need to set up so 2 PCs should do it. That's what I thought, Pablo. I'd have to have 2 PCs to do it. So, yeah. Anyway, no. So this EVE Online, pretty cool game, man. In fact, let me see. I did find on YouTube. Hang on a second. So if you don't know about that game, come on, EVE. I think that's the name of the channel. EVE Space Game. Let's see if that gives it to me. Should you play EVE Online in 2024 from 9 months ago? EVE Online. There we go. So, here we go. I don't want to get a copyright thing, but let's just pop it up. This is pretty cool. I'll turn the sound off after it starts. Yeah, so they'll probably come after copyright, but I'm actually promoting the game. That's counterproductive for them to do it, but isn't this cool?
And then we're going to warp to the run spot. Does that make sense? Outstanding. Okay, stand by.
Anyway, so EVE, I would like to play that online, but I haven't quite figured that out, so I have to learn how to do that. So I've done reaction videos, Lori, and I've gotten copyright strikes for them. Everybody and their brother does reaction videos, and there's nothing to. They don't get in trouble. I do a reaction video, I get a copyright strike for it. I do lots of reaction videos. The thing that I find annoying and irritating is like you get okay, and I'm not picking on because they're black or white, but they tend to be black Americans. Black Americans reacting to rugby. My first time watching South African rugby, and they get 16 million views. I have no idea what they're talking about. Emery says cover Formula One. Maybe I should start covering Formula One. Yeah, no, I do reaction videos, Lori, and they get destroyed. I get copyright claims and copyright strikes every time I do one. I do reaction videos I did them to Tom McDonald songs. I've done them to lots of things, and I always get get attacked. It's ridiculous. Everyone else, their brother does them, nothing. And for me, one of the times I started watching, Emery is all happy about Formula One. I'm gonna have to bone up on the Formula One though, so I'm not a subject matter expert on Formula One. So Formula One to me sounds like something you use to loosen nuts on your rig, like WD-40 Formula One. Yes, Alan, you're right. 50,000 views overnight. That's true. But I'm not going to sell myself down the river like that. Alan wrote something that was screened by YouTube and blocked. I just read it because I can read it in my studio. So he wants to put TNA on the screen. Anyway, but hey, some super chat revenue came in tonight. Thank you all for that. Appreciate that. But yeah, let me just go see if this story has still got legs on it from the crazy lady on the plane. Jubilee debates. What are Jubilee debates? You talking about the Jubilee for Queen Elizabeth II? Fikile Mabalula is warning ANC members about secession talk. What the hell? What are they talking about? KZN leaving now, or what's going on? Let me see. Not to engage in secession talks because it would dilute party renewal efforts. Renewal. I love how the ANC keeps talking about renewal. Renew to what? To be the communist terrorist organization you always were? Wow. On Sunday, he posted a document titled ANC Succession Debate, a Non-Starter, in which he said a narrative had emerged in public that a number of senior leaders are involved in a secession race for leadership positions. Oh, not secession, but succession. Succession. Sorry, I thought I said secession. Succession. He said the narrative was premised on a misguided analysis of a body politic, a mischievous effort aimed at detracting. Well, that's just asinine, Fikile Mabalula. Cyril Ramaphosa will not be the leader of this party in a couple of years, so someone will have to succeed him. Now is the time to build a constituency to succeed Cyril Ramaphosa within your party. So he's just being an ass because he wants to be the leader of the party. Black Christians versus black Muslims. That would be an ugly story. You could do reaction videos on the beef drivers get into after the race. Oh, okay. Huh. I've talked about the Christian-Muslim divide in Nigeria in particular on multiple occasions. But yeah, I'm trying to sit up with my posture here and improve it there. So anyway, oh boy. So anyway, what I really want to talk about tonight is just I'm really impressed with some of these other YouTubers. And I don't know that I'll ever develop those kind of skills short of someone backing my program. Okay, that's Ronaldo's channel. Let me get out of there. Is his video still going? I don't think mine is. Host debates. That's an idea, but I think I don't think people are doing that much anymore, are they? Okay, Ronaldo's got another 1,000 views on that video since I started talking about it. I don't think I've gained any more views. Let me see. No, my videos, in the time I've talked about it, I've had 100 views. It's picked up from an hour ago. It was 54, and a couple hours ago it was 27. 38, but it hasn't done anything since about, well, it died off this afternoon. Last good hour was 12 o'clock. 1 o'clock. It had 484 views at 1 o'clock. So 1 o'clock would be 8 o'clock South Africa time. So it died off from them. So we'll see if it picks up again. This will be the time that it would pick up because it's morning in South Africa and start getting more views during the day because it's a South Africa focused video. But yeah, so I've actually made a little revenue from that video, $1.19. Yeah, I haven't done debates, but yeah. So, question is, what do people want to debate about? Tian, thank you for that super chat. You know, it's funny. I found it interesting that people would draw the conclusion that I was claiming that Knobs was colored when I never said it. Yeah, big name guest. I've had big names on the channel, but not big enough. So funny enough, but not so funny. Nas Bota was on my channel last year for the Rugby World Cup, and that drove a lot of views, but not as many as I thought it was. I'm looking back now, but tens of thousands of views, and a lot of people started following the channel. So let me go back to that period last year. Let me go to my analytics here. We're going to go to views. Okay. Let me go back to last year. It can't be this time last year. Let me see. Wait a second. That's 48 hours. I don't want that. I'm in the wrong spot here. Hang on. Analytics. Let me go back to there. Come on, YouTube. Okay, let me go back a year. So a year is not going to take me back far enough because it only takes me back to December of 2023. I got to go back further than that because it was. So let's go. I have to go to lifetime. You can't do 2 years, which sucks. So let me go back to the World Cup. Okay, so the World Cup, okay, so that was a big time frame. So there we go. Not so much, yeah, so it wasn't so much in September, but in October, when I came back, I had a lot of views. So I was getting, for a period there, it was really excellent. I thought the channel was going to grow. From the middle of October, I was getting 14,000, 30,000, 14,000, 10,000, 12,000 views per day. And that was, I've had one other period where it's been the most consistent. That's when I went to South Africa recently this year for the elections. But yeah, I was getting views, and in fact, the Nas Bota is one of my top performing videos all time. This is one where Japan, Chile, Springboks over Scotland after I was in Marseille. Yeah, but so Nas was on, but then someone ruined that, and Nas backed off, and we stopped doing things together. I had Kevin Sorbo on for an interview. I've had Dr. Victor Davis Hansen on several times for interviews, but I need a big YouTuber. Which lots of people claim they want to do, but no one ever follows through. So, no, I've never been in contact with Rolf Meyer. Did somebody send me his information? I think somebody did. I can't recall who it was. Was it you, Chris? Could host a Mighty Jamie versus Ronaldo. That would be interesting. I was concerned when I heard it was Matabela's. What is that? I don't know what that means. Oh, and now my thing is buffering. Let me reload it. I assume that's my studio. Yeah, it's my studio. YouTube's at it again. What is the problem with YouTube? And hang on a second here. You sent me a son's details. Okay, I have to go back and look at that, Chris. My apologies. Trying to remember if I contact. I don't remember if I contact them because people ask me to contact people all the time, and I do. So, for instance, studio's not loading again. I was recently asked to. There we go. It's finally starting to load. No, there's not. It's blank screen. Good Lord, YouTube. What is your deal tonight? There we go. Man, oh man, oh man. Yeah, so That's what it was. Garrett Gillich told me that the Kiwi lads, that Hamish from the Kiwi lads was keen to do a collab with me. So I wrote to them. Let me look and see. And they, once again, didn't respond. So either people are speaking out of turn. I have no reason to doubt Garrett. Let me see. When did I send that message? It was recently, but I don't see it here. Let me see. Kiwi lads. I'm not seeing it. Oh, there it is. Okay. Wait a second. I sent one this year. Okay, that's the one. Okay, hang on a second. Yeah, December 22nd. Yeah, I sent them a message in October of 2021. People said they want. So here we go. I said, gents, I received an email earlier today from a viewer, but only saw it after the Eagles All Blacks games. He said you would be interested in doing a collaboration. This was a pre-game, but I think I can still make an interesting stream post-game. I'm keen if you are. Please let me know if you get an American rugby journalist enthusiast. You get an American rugby journalist enthusiast in me. Yeah. Anyway, and I mentioned I'm 15 hours ahead of that. Was October 2021. They never responded. And then in November, I said interested in the Yanks commentary and World Rugby ruling. Never responded. And then I just sent one that said, greetings, I'm Chris Wyatt, currently just retired. One of my South African viewers mentioned that Hamish is keen to chat with me. If that's the case, I'm happy to accommodate that. Merry Christmas. And they never responded. So, I mean, it was the same with Odez, although I heard back from Odez, and then he just blew me off. So, you know, people, look, not a complaint, but a statement of fact. I have always given anyone that I can identify that's not a racist the time of day if they've asked me to come on the program, no matter how large or small their channel. Remember, we had a 16-year-old kid in South Africa who was trying to learn how to stream and do this online, and he really wanted me to be his guest. I went on. He didn't know what he's doing. I was talking him through it as we're doing it, and we're live on the air, and I was helping him. That did me no favors. It gained me no viewers. It was my valuable time, but I did it as a courtesy. You pay it forward. But there are very few YouTube content creators that will promote other content creators without an ulterior motive. Ronaldo's one of them. Ronaldo happily promotes my channel, and there's no compensation from me. He's not gaining viewers from America because of me. He's not selling merchandise because of me. It's just something we do together because we enjoy it. And I don't know that it helps both of us because a lot of my viewers don't like Ronaldo. And there's, I'm sure, a number of Ronaldo's viewers that don't like me, although they don't really speak up. But I know that a lot of my viewers do speak up about not liking Ronaldo. So, very few people do that. And that's frustrating. It's the same thing in the conservative crowd here in America. The Charlie Kirks, the, what's her name? The black chick. Candace Owens, people like that. Ben Shapiro, they don't open their door up to anybody. The only people they open the door up to is when they're famous and someone else is famous, then they'll collaborate with them to increase the fame of the two of them. But they never give someone, that's up and coming or someone that's unknown a chance. Never do that, any of them. They don't promote people because I suspect they're not genuine at heart and or they fear competition. So, Devette Martins is here. Good evening to you. And Devette says I'm his favorite American. Well, thank you, Devette. It's very kind of you. I appreciate that. I'm not considering what? Good night, Mike. Yeah, so anyway, it would be cool. Anthony Brian Logan, I know somebody that knows him, and I've been in a conversation with him on someone else's coordinating something, and he said, I think it was he the one who wanted to do something with me, but that never came to anything either. People make commitments when they're chatting with other folks. They're going to do this, they're going to do that, and then they never follow through. Happens all the time. I'll host the Mighty Jamie versus Ronaldo debate. I don't know Mighty Jamie, and I'd have to go back and watch his videos because his stuff kind of irritated me and gave me a bad vibe. So I'd have to take a closer look at what he produces. Most of what he produced seemed to be race hustling. If I'm wrong, I'll correct that, but that's what I saw. So anyway, but it looks like the Snakes on the Plane story is going to die now. So South Africa's most endangered endemic bird. It looks like a barn swallow. That's the most endangered bird. What is this? The Botha's lark. Looks like a barn swallow to me. Only 340 left. Only 2 confirmed sightings of the bird in the last 18 months. So how many of those 340 left? So what's taking out? Cats? Huh. Well, there's a story that would be interesting. I wonder if I can find this guy. Matthew Orlowitz. Okay, so let's see if I can find this guy. I think that's an interesting story. Oh, no. South Africa. Okay, he's on LinkedIn. He's on Instagram. And he's got his thing in South Africa. Okay, let me see what I can find here. Why is that not opening? Okay, there he is. All right. So he's an ornithologist, I guess. Ernst Retief. Let me see. Karina Pinar. Where's he at over here? There he is, Matthew. Oh, there's an email for him. I can reach out to him. I'll try to reach out to him, see if he's willing to do a story. Okay, 100% call him out on the debate with Ronaldo. Okay, breaking news. Subside kills officer. What? In Iran. What is that, Monray? What is subside Bomer? I don't. What the hell is that? Who won't do it? I won't do it? What are you talking about, Pablo? Daily Mail is writing a story about PA going to this. Daily Mail. Oh, Daily Mav. Okay, let me see. All right, good. Daily Maverick. Hang on a second. Okay. I got a link for Daily Maverick. I don't know why I'm making this hard on myself. There's Daily Maverick. That story wasn't up when I last looked at it, but that's been 12 hours ago. I don't see the story. Let me just do a search. Do a search there. Daily Maverick. Wow. There it is. Search. South African Human Rights Commission. Okay. Do a search and see if I can find it that way. Doesn't appear. Jump out at you. So SABC investigating employee, human rights, gangsters. Nope. There's no story here about the Patriotic Alliance going to... The last story they have was on the 29th by Sune Payne. Yep. Nope. There's nothing here about it. Where is the South African Human Rights Commission covering this story at? Yeah, that's nowhere, Chris. Where are you getting that from? Twitter? Maybe on Twitter. Let me see if I can find it on Twitter. South African Human Rights Commission. Or did South African Human Rights Commission... They wouldn't have done it. You said the Daily Maverick's covering it. So let me do Daily Maverick. That's not what. Daily Maverick. Okay. Daily Maverick on Twitter. There it is. Okay. All right. There it is. See, that's annoying. It doesn't show up in the search on their website. Now I'm taking the link there. Yeah, but see, that's. Oh wait, hang on a second. Oh no! I already reported on that. That's not a new story. I report on that because I saw that story. In the story, it says they will complain. They haven't gone. So Ronaldo's taking down his picture of Che in that path to better things. Huh? Ronaldo had a picture of Che Guevara. When was that? Yeah, no, that's the story they already had. So it's okay. Well, here, okay. So let me show you how it comes up here. This is not their normal way their website's normally set up. This is from going to Twitter and linking to it through Twitter. That's how I got to this. And it says both the DA and PA taking action. PA lodging a complaint, and the DA planning to file criminal injury charge. Okay, so yeah. Yeah, but that story doesn't appear when you search for it. Yeah, here you go. On Sunday, Kenny Cunene, Deputy President BA, said the offensive statements targeting members of the color community with her disparaging remarks undermine the spirit, unity, dignity, and respect. They would lodge a complaint. Okay, well, I've already reported on that, Chris. I've already reported on that. I saw that, but in a different format. So, Allison Johnson, hello to you. Yeah, so, and that story was by Sune Payne. Yep, Payne. Am I calling out Mighty Jamie? Oh, he won't do it. Okay, I thought you meant I wouldn't do it. Well, if he's a bigot, I won't do it. But yeah, the Daily Maverick on their website, on their Twitter account, does talk about this. Yeah, so hang on a second here. Sorry, responding to this guy. Okay. My typing really sucks. Anyway, all right. So Jed Phillips says, Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you, Jed. Chris Ayler says, okay, no problem. No, thanks for bringing my attention, Chris. But I'd already mentioned that the PA wants to take it. But it was a weekend, so the South African Human Rights Commission. Someone just wrote on there that that case has nothing to do with human rights. Well, I agree, but see, if you listen and you discern what I say on my video about this topic, I said on one of the videos, I said that what she said wasn't racist. Now I saw a later video which stuff was very racially insensitive, but it isn't racist. I said this is bigotry, and we just ignore bigots. We don't let them associate in society. That's how you're supposed to do things. Yeah, Jimmy Carter made it to 100. That's correct. Yep. Nothing will come of the case. They'll smother it with the usual. Exactly, Chris. That's exactly right. Nothing will come of this. But I think it was John Jarvis was asking the question, why 3 videos on this? This is a non-news story. It's not a non-news story. It's important. I mean, the vim and vigor and the energy that goes into demonizing white South Africans over perceived racial comments or perceived slights or feelings. The same thing needs to be done when anybody does this. If you're going to do that to one group of society, you do it to everyone in society, and that's what needs to happen. This behavior from this woman, I've encountered it many times. I've been treated with disdain, with disrespect, with this rudeness by many South Africans. When I say men, it's not a lot. And 8 out of 10 times that I'm treated in that fashion, it's a black South African. Now, all things being equal, black South Africans make up 80% of the population. So in theory, that should be a perfectly fine standard. But the reality is that my interactions with South Africans, only about half to 60% of my interactions in South Africa are with black South Africans. So they're overrepresented in the mistreatment, the disdain, the disrespect. So, but that's anecdotal. It's not really of any significant, statistical value there. Yeah, no, that's the point. I keep calling out the South African Human Rights Commission. So, for instance, very quickly in this case, so the case of the attempted murder that took place in Orkney, Mark Hanscom, when they attempted to murder Mark Hanscom because they were violating the rules of the campsite, and the employees asked them politely to stop using their drug paraphernalia, their smoking paraphernalia, and they told them, get screwed. We weren't there, but just know what was reported to the police. So after trying twice, they went and got the owner. He came, and they brought out pangas and knives and attacked him because he's white. The mouths on them, the lip about, who does he think he is? And they tried to murder him, stabbed him in the back multiple times. The man's lucky that he can still walk. Nearly killed him, put his life in jeopardy. So was this racially motivated? I think it was, based on the information available. Now, flip that script around, okay? That happened on December 16th. It's now December 30th, a full 2 weeks since the man was nearly murdered by black thugs in Orkney in Northwest Province. Now, they don't represent black South Africans, but they do represent a segment of society that feels entitled to mistreat others because of their racial narrative. So where is the South African Human Rights Commission? There is no more basic human right than the right to life. The South African Human Rights Commission talks about dignity. Dignity doesn't mean anything if you don't draw breath. Murder is a hate crime. Where is the South African Human Rights Commission? When Christopher Logan lied after going and intentionally creating a false incident to become famous, apparently, or whatever his reason was. We don't know what his true motivations were. When he lied, he was feted and praised as a brave, brave person who came forward to defend the dignity of his friend Danica against evil racists at Hank's Old Irish Pub. Except there were no evil racists at Hank's Old Irish Pub. And there was no mistreatment of Danica. Danica mistreated and abused the bouncer the night prior, yet was still granted admission and lied about it. They have CCTV, which is in Ronaldo's video, which shows that the night that he claimed he was denied entrance into the club, he's clearly in the club. You can see him on the cameras. So it's a lie. The whole thing is a lie. It's all set up. So Christopher Logan, this incident occurred on December 1st of 2022. On December 7th, now this story didn't break and become a nationwide sensation December 1st. I don't recall if it did on December 2nd. I think it might have been the 3rd or 4th. It finally started getting some attention. But already on December 7th, the South African Human Rights Commission launched an investigation into the incident at Hank's Old Irish Pub. Why? Because a white South African had been falsely accused of being a racist, and it fits their narrative. Oh, white South African, those people are inherently racist. So that's what they did, because it's self-fulfilling. Let me see if I can find the correct story. There it is. Okay, 7 December 2022. All right, so I did a screen capture so the South African Human Rights Commission can't hide from this. But here we go. So, 7 December 2022, the South African Human Rights Commission to probe Hank's Old Irish Pub's alleged racism. They said it will request a review of the reserve right of admission policy following an incident in Hank's Old Irish Pub, where a black customer was allegedly racially profiled. Simply a lie. Simply a lie. 7 December 2022. Less than a week after the incident supposedly took place. But it never took place. It never occurred. It's all fraudulent. It's all made up. So here we are with a genuine, most likely racial incident. But even if it's not racial, it's clearly an instance of denying some of their human rights. If ever there was a reason for the South African Human Rights Commission to get involved, it should be in the assault on Mark Hanscom at the Hanscom Resort in Orkney in Northwest Province. Orkney, snorkney my butt. Where is the South African Human Rights Commission? They're nowhere to be found because the victim is white, and the South African Human Rights Commission is a race-hustling organization which appears to be dedicated to denigrating minority South Africans and not ensuring dignity and human rights for all South Africans. 2 weeks. The media didn't even report this story until a few days ago. It was well over a week, going on 10 days before the media even reported what happened there. Now, why was that story covered up? And how did it come to light? Well, if someone had told me about it, I would have told the story, as I've done in many cases. Yep. Devet says it feels strange that people call Colonel by his first name. Well, Devet, yeah, I get where you're coming from. I think it's strange for people just to walk up to you and call you by your first name when they don't even know you, especially when you're older. That kind of takes me aback, you know. So I have people come up to me in the Veterans Organization all the time that I don't know, but who know who I am, and then start talking to me and feel the need to tell me how to do things and address me as Chris. And that's not how I grew up. Not how I grew up. You show respect to people. So, for instance, where was that the other day? I was somewhere the other day. And, my friend's house. He's in his 80s. And every time I go over to his house, he invites me in. And I go into his studio, his office. It's a nice office he's got there. Got a nice bust of Abraham Lincoln in there. Conservative. And I walk in, and I don't just assume to sit down. I ask, may I sit? And he goes, of course, sit. I mean, that's just kind of the manners that I have. I don't understand these people that just address people by the first name. I get it if you're a celebrity, and it's doing it again. Boy, YouTube is having a problem tonight with the studio. The studio is cocked tonight. It's once again, I'm getting buffering on my studio, even though the broadcast is still live. And the reason that matters is I have to know if I'm still live. The only way for me to know if I'm still live and broadcasting is watching it in my studio. And if it's frozen, I don't even know if I'm even live. Like right now, it's still spinning. According to this, I've lost 10 viewers. What the hell? This is weird. Boy, YouTube has got some serious problems tonight. Anyway, no, respect is not a military thing. It's something society. Well, my friend gave me this minted silver 1 troy ounce silver Donald Trump fight commemorative silver coin. He likes silver, and he signed it on the back and the inside. So there's a nice silver coin there of Donald Trump. If I can get that angle just right. Yeah, I don't think you can see that very well. There you go. Trump with his fist raised in the air with the flag in the background in Butler, Pennsylvania. It's pretty cool of him. But I didn't just assume. I asked. It's oh, come on, YouTube. What is your deal? Sorry, folks. Let me reload this page. Yeah, Dylan says I'm live. Thank you for that, Dylan. And I'm losing viewers by the 1/3 of the audience is left. It should be a social norm, but it has been lost. Yeah, look, when I'm running for office like this, people want to call me Chris, because I'm running for office as a politician. That's their prerogative. But yeah, it's just shouldn't be people just walk up to you and just start calling you. You want to know what irritates me, what sets me off? Ooh, I have real issues with this. People's children calling you by your first name. No. No minor should ever call an adult by their first name. Never. Yeah, so Black Lives Matter is not the one who created the fist. Although black nationalists did it back in the 1960s, particularly the U.S. Olympians in Mexico City, and they paid a pretty significant price to their careers for their misdeed. No, but Trump stood up, raised his fist, and said, fight, when they tried to murder him. Yes, yep. Yeah, so that torches my that chafes my shorts. I take great personal offense at I know you're kidding, RJ, at that sort of nonsense. And when parents don't correct their kids, no. Yeah, the Black Sash also love the fist. Yeah, when parents don't correct their children. I mean, when a 6-year-old calls me Chris, I have a problem with that. A 6-year-old is not on the same level of social development as a 20-year-old, a 40-year-old, a 60-year-old. It just isn't the case. You need to show respect to adults when you're a kid. It starts there. The familiarity that parents allow their children to have with other adults. And I don't correct it, but I stay away from people like that for the most part. I mean, to me, you're not raising your children properly if they don't show respect to an adult. I mean, I have no problem with, the traditional sort of thing is, neighbors and, uncle or auntie, they're not really your uncle or auntie. That's just what you say. Or you say, call me Mr. Chris. That's fine. Yeah, but no, it's just that's a social norm that I just can't cotton at. That really torques my shorts. Yep. Yes, and tiny. You're correct, RJ. Yeah. Exactly, Chris. You walk away. Grates my cheese. Yeah, exactly. It chafes my shorts. Yeah, Chris says you have no life experience to elevate yourself to my age. Well, but at the same time, we often have to, remain cognizant of not becoming arrogant. Just because we're older and seasoned doesn't mean we know everything. We're all learning things all the time. Life is a journey, and education is a lifelong experience. And the sad part is that when your light is extinguished, all of your experiences, all of your memories, all of your interactions go with you. From your perspective. Now, there are other people you've interacted with. You may have published something. You may have left art behind. You may have left music behind. You may have built something that endures. You may have published. You may have written something, and that may endure. But it's not from your perspective. Your unique human perspective goes with you. Unless we can achieve a singularity and place our consciousness inside of a machine, like Sheldon Cooper wants. Hey, Tian. So, how you doing there? Thanks for the super chat earlier. Yeah, no. So it's all about it's all about our journey. Well, I'm starting to sound like a leftist now. No, I'm not about that. No, but it is. It's about our journey. Everyone has value. That's why it's so heartbreaking to see lives cut short. So heartbreaking to see people abuse others. So heartbreaking to see child abuse, molestation, rape, gender-based violence. It's really bad. Chris says he paid that respect, so you'll pay that respect to him. Yeah, that's fair. Well, my truth is nonsense. There's no such thing as my truth. There's your viewpoint. There is your experience. There's your journey. There's your perspective. There's no such thing as your truth. That's just cock. That's just nonsense. That's something leftists come up with. I was watching the most annoying Karens video on YouTube today, too. Oh, my gosh. This girl who's arrested, 24 years old, unbelievable, abusive towards the police, abusive. Yeah, Dylan, the human condition is tough. We are limited by our physical capabilities. We are limited by our mental capabilities. We are limited by our place in time. We can overcome many of those things, but there remain challenges. If you're not 7 feet tall, then you can't dunk, unless you're really good at jumping. If you are not lean, you cannot run at record speeds and outrun the cheetahs or the leopards. That's correct, Chris. There's only the truth, the objective truth, nothing more. Yep, exactly right. But that seems to get lost on a lot of people. Anyway, wow, I thought we'd grow the audience as we stayed on, because it's now approaching 8 o'clock in South Africa. I guess a lot of people have gone to work. Maybe that's what's going on. And here in the States, it's a bit late, so except my viewers on the West Coast. Light Rain's not here tonight. I was going to do this on the old channel, but then I decided let's just do it on this channel. So anyway, but no, the whole point of doing this Night Owls tonight was that. By the way, I watched the Vegas Golden Knights win earlier this evening. It had a slim 1-0 lead late in the game, then scored a beautiful goal. It was a beautiful shot, and then with an empty net, they picked up a third goal and they won 3-0 at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. Kind of drifted in. I was tired, slept for part of the game, woke up, but watched the end of the game, watched them score those last 2 goals. So what I wanted to do was really just talk about these other folks and just kind of how I'm humbled by some of these creators and some of the content they put out there. So, I'm always trying to find a new angle or improve my battle position. That's what you do in the military and the infantry. When you march, you engage in a battle, you build a defensive perimeter, you win a battle, secure the hilltop, you always improve your position. You dig in so that indirect fire cannot take you out, artillery, mortars, and such. And then you keep building in. You keep building and improve your position. You pick up and move to the next location, next objective, and then you start digging in and you improve your position. You're always improving your position. Why? Because you need to protect yourself. So, have you given thought to your future deserved tax-free farm in the Orange River? Well, Devette, the problem with the Orange River is where exactly are we talking about doing it? So let me get maps out here, okay? Because most of the Orange River is located in the middle of frickin' nowhere. So, while I do like my solitude, I also like to be in a peri-urban environment or a rural environment, but not too far from civilization. So let's move in on the Orange River, okay? All right, so there it is right there. Okay, so Orange River. Yeah, I'm not seeing a lot of places that appeal to me on that Orange River. All right, so yeah, it's all, I guess, let me see. Where's over here? Yeah, these are all remote locations, man. There's the Orange River there. Oh, we can see all the farms along it there. Okay. Orange River there. All right, get towards a Free State now. Yeah, I guess maybe near Lesotho might be all right. Maps don't do justice. And Orania is remote, man. We've had this conversation. I don't want to live in the middle of nowhere. I also don't want to live down the river of somebody's toilet. Yeah, if I had a farm, it wouldn't be a dairy farm, and it's probably not going to be poultry. The Eastern Transvaal. Well, the problem with that is I actually like the Drakensberg. And, if the Zulu would give me part of the Drakensberg and not have a beef about it, then I'd go there. Yeah, no, I like the Drakensberg. It's beautiful. There's Spienkolp. Yeah, I tried to get to the battlefield. I couldn't get my way to that battlefield. Very frustrating. Yeah. Okay, so I'm trying to get to the... Yeah, there we go. That's the spot. That's the Sterkfontein Dam Nature Reserve. Big, big lake there. Gold Gate Highlands Park. That's a beautiful area. Yep. The Drakensberg Resort. Yep. Royal Natal National Park. Been there. That's a gorgeous spot. Yeah. Yep. Gorgeous stuff. Anyway, yeah, so no, I like KZN, but it's Zulu country, and the Zulu aren't going to give it to me. No, I don't want dairy. That's why I said I don't want dairy. Not going to do dairy. Somewhere between Lesotho and Prescott. Okay, all right, yeah, let me see. Where's Prescott? I thought I saw that on the map a short while ago. Come on, Prescott. Let me do that real quick. Prescott is Southwest Africa. Okay. Yeah, there you go. I've never been to Prescott. What's that like? Looks kind of small. Yeah. A lot of circular irrigation around there. Yeah, I suppose that's a part of South Africa I've not really spent any time in there. From Kimberley going southwest, I've never really been there. So, yeah. Griekwoodstad. Wow, Griekwood town. The Maluti Mountains. Okay. Yeah, I've checked it out. Eastern Transvaal is the best of all worlds. Jock of the Bushveld world. Yeah, anyway. Sabi. I know Sabi. Okay, cool. Yeah. Well, you know, that's a conversation, isn't it? That's a conversation. So the year is almost over, folks. I did manage to log into the Pennsylvania Commonwealth website earlier today and make a tax payment. Oh, gosh, I'll get back all of it, if not most of it. But I have to pay it because I don't have income tax taken out of the small amount of income that I get from consulting and from YouTube. While I didn't have a particularly good year in YouTube, I made more money this year than last year. But not much. Anyway, well, I won't be enjoying my night. I'm going to go to bed, put a little video on. I rewatched Cowboy Bebop on Netflix the other night, and I'd never seen the end, so I finally got to the end of it. I'm kind of wishing that they would make a second round of that, but I don't think that's ever going to happen. Cowboy Bebop. Yep. Anyway, that's it, guys. I'm going to wrap it up here. Thanks for being here. Be sure to hit the like button. Thanks for the super chat. For a stream late at night, which only a handful of people tuned into, we got some respectable super chat on this. I mean, you know, I get hundreds of people watching streams, thousands, and I get no super chats. We got $18 tonight. YouTube will take its 1/3. That means I'll get $12 out of it. That's at least 2 Starbucks. Well, almost 2 Starbucks. Anyway, thank you all so much. Thank you for your ideas. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for listening in. Appreciate it. So have a good evening, a good day, wherever you find yourself. And I'll be back on later today after I get some rest. And we'll cover some more news. Maybe something will be breaking. We'll definitely be talking about the passing of James Earl Carter, United States President, what, the 37th President, something like that. Maybe a little bit after that. And we'll go from there. Chris Marie, you can send me a note. I've been in contact with NAS, and it's a great improvement over what has not happened for the past 12 months. So I'll let you know if more is coming there. But yeah, when you go see him, it should be a pleasant conversation. So please go see him and give him that hat, okay? Been sitting on that hat since September of 2023. Anyway, all right. God bless everybody. Have a good night, and we'll catch you here next time on Night Owls. Yes. I do some Luther Vandross. That guy had a great voice. Luther Vandross. What a great voice. Died far too soon. All right, no closing comments tonight. Just going to put up the sketch. Good night, everybody.